Production.
Yo, what is poppin'? Let's get a little brighter here. So we're looking at DeFi technologies. I see that this is getting a lot of traction on the YouTube. It seems like a lot of people are very interested in DeFi technologies. And it's cool to see that, for those who are new and are watching my videos, go to my Twitter page. So I'm going to pull this up here. My Twitter page has a bunch of alpha on DeFi, and you could stay more up to date with me when it comes to chatting about DeFi, my thoughts about the markets, etc. Again, none of it's financial advice. Do your own research. But I like to post there because it's easiest for me to access. I can't always just make a video and post it. So check out my Twitter at NCB Trades and go to my highlights there and scroll down. And this was back in March now, but I got to do an interview with Russell Starr, who is the head of capital markets of DeFi. And he talks about a lot of things regarding why the company's so undervalued, some of their financials, and a few of their plans on what they want to infiltrate in terms of global expansion, the trading desks, etc. You could find this if you scroll down. It's right here, March 26th, it was posted, and that's when we had the chat. Now, a lot's happened since then, and I kind of want to go over a lot of this stuff because I'm getting so much people are randomly DMing me off of Twitter, on Instagram, YouTube comments, messaging me about DeFi. So I want to make things clear and kind of break down my thoughts on this because I've been very vocal about it, but it's unfortunate that some people only get to see like the YouTube side or, for example, Instagram post or a Twitter post, right? So let's go over this, right? Hopefully this doesn't take too long. But essentially, we're looking at DeFi technologies. Let's just start off with this. From October 2023 up until now, the stock's gone up 3,500%. Okay? Major run in this name. Major run. Okay? I have this here because I'll highlight that in a bit. But it's had a major run. We're really close to previous all-time highs, which was around 420. Excuse me. And right now, it was actually 2 days ago, it was on Sunday, I made this post saying, this makes sense to me, right? DeFi having a longer period of consolidation makes sense to me. Do I think that's going to happen? I do. Is it going to happen? We don't know, right? I try, being like a chart analyst, a trader and an investor, I try to have an open mind when it comes to the markets. And I've looked at thousands of charts at this point. So I try to picture a bunch of different scenarios that could happen and what makes sense to me from a technical perspective. And that's why I posted this. Why this makes sense to me, right, for DeFi to do a longer period of consolidation like this is, one, first of all, let's look at BTC. Okay. Bitcoin has been sideways for a long period of time, right? Since March, it's been sideways. You look at Sol, right? And again, a big part of my thesis on DeFi is that it lags Sol, right? So look at Solana, right? It's had this massive run since October, right, or September. Took a period of time to consolidate. We had a beautiful run, and look what happened here. It started to consolidate for a long period of time, right? Now, let's look at DeFi again. When we pull up DeFi, we see such a similar chart pattern, right? So all I'm saying is I think that DeFi is lagging Sol. And with a lot of the bullish catalysts that DeFi has been coming out and saying recently, like the share buybacks, proof of the CEO buying like 1 million shares of stock at around 224. We have their launch of the very first Bitcoin yield product, right? There's so many other things. They're launching a bunch of products. They're expanding globally and trying to infiltrate different markets. DeFi is super bullish right now, in my opinion. If everything is fully compliant and the numbers line up on the balance sheet, then yes, this is a super undervalued stock, right? But for those who are looking and chasing, you got to be careful because you got to look at where you're entering in the stock. Like, for example, that's why I posted the other day. Be aware, and again, I'll kind of back out here, but what I posted was um, everyone gets attracted to the shiny obstacles. Just keep in mind where you are getting your entry points. DeFi's ran over 3x in a month. Okay, so let's look at this. Right back on May 1st to what is this, June 17th, it went 375%. Right, so just a little over a month. It ripped real hard. Right, stocks that do this tend to consolidate after because you want to digest that large move. And again, this has come from looking at hundreds of charts and participating in the market since 2019 and trading and actually getting burned over and then taking and making dubs on some trades, right? Seeing this, it seems obvious to me, right? Again, I have the open mind though. Like, I could be wrong. It could go much higher. But it does make sense right now for it to consolidate. So here we are, close to previous all-time highs. And let's mark this out, right? We're pretty much at a major resistance point right here, right? It's been a while that the stock has been in this range. Okay? So here we have this push to the upside. We crack resistance after doing a 3x. And there's pretty much how would I put it? Right now there's essentially a marketing play on DeFi. Like, a bunch of people are starting to talk about it in articles, posting articles, going on going on like analyst shows and talking about it. I had the interview. Like, they're doing this on purpose and they've been vocal about it, right? So, what can we expect from DeFi now, right? To me, it's important. You got to switch up the time frame, right? You look at the weekly time frame. Let's put up the 8 EMA here. And on the weekly time frame, we're quite far away from the 8 EMA, right? We're about 50% from the 8 EMA. Last time we were around 50% from the 8 EMA, it was around 35%, right? You could expect that there could be a consolidation here. Another thing that would, kind of hint that there's going to be a consolidation is we have a volume climax happening here, right, on the daily time frame. We run right up into a previous resistance. We see not all-time high volume, but we see pretty much the largest volume in around, you could say it's been close to a year, the largest volume, right? And it's right at a resistance point. Like, you start to add these things up. Also, Bitcoin's consolidating, Solana's consolidating, Ethereum's consolidating. These things add up. It makes sense for DeFi to consolidate. Yes, do I think that the stock is going to go higher? I do, right? What matters, what we want to see line up is we want to see Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana consolidate smartly and then break out towards the upside. If that can happen around, the end of summer, October, November, we could see DeFi take its time to consolidate and then run, right? So again, this is what I'm expecting from DeFi. We have this volume climax on the daily time frame. The 2-day time frame looks pretty obvious that we have a bearish engulfing. That's a sign that there's going to be some consolidation here, right? Will it look exactly like this? I don't know. This is just one of the, points of view from a technical perspective that I'm kind of looking to see, right? We have a ascending triangle pattern. It could be a falling wedge pattern developing next. We could potentially see something like maybe a cup and handle around this range where we take some time up until there, right? Where we consolidate like this, right? We create a pattern like that. There's so many different possibilities. So I want to be transparent with all you guys and, kind of tell you guys my points of view. I'm bullish on the stock, but I do think right now, be aware of where you're entering. There's going to be a bunch of chop in this range, especially if the thesis that, DeFi leg Solana, I think it's very evident that what we're going to see here is a period of consolidation. So how can we kind of place our footing correctly and prepare for what's to come, right? I go back straight to the basics. I just go, what is an uptrend and what is a downtrend, right? An uptrend is a low, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, and it continues, right? A downtrend is a high, a low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, right? Pretty basic shit. So let's look at DeFi from that perspective on the daily time frame since September, October, right? We can point out, right? We have this strong move to the upside. We have this period of consolidation here, right? Higher low was created. We went sideways. We create a clear higher high. I think what's next to come is a higher low, right? Where can we look for this higher low? Because I think that is important. So let's do this. We go to the 2 or 3 day time frame. We zoom out on the chart and we look back. That's all we do. We look back. I see this area right here. This makes sense. I'm going to mark this out because it's a possibility that the stock could come right back into this zone here. A few things to add up. We paused here shortly. Okay, that seemed to be, at one point we thought it was going to be a resistance. It shot right past it. We could get a period of time here where we play in between this range, right? Maybe we get a bull flag, right? Maybe we get the falling wedge. Maybe we get the cup and handle. There's a bunch of different scenarios that could play out. But I think it's evident that right now is important to pay attention to what happens here. What happens to BTC, ETH, and SOL. From there, it might take a month. It might take 2 weeks. It might take 2 months, 3 months. But from here, it'll be easier for us to paint a picture of what we could potentially see coming, right? So again, daily time frame. What I think we should pay attention to is here's our high. Whoops. Right? Here's our high. We could potentially create a higher low, but a lower high could be potentially coming up soon. So maybe we get a bounce, a lower high, and then we'd look to see potentially either testing to see if it's support around here, or if we make that lower low coming back into that range. And then from around here, we can wait and be patient and see what happens, right? So there's a few different scenarios that I pointed out, like I said, but these are my thoughts on DeFi. Like, again, it just comes from looking at the charts so much and like practicing. Like, there's not a day that goes by where I don't look at the charts and practice, and try to get an understanding of what's going on. So we'll delete that, and then we're going to go look at the 21 EMA, right? The 21 EMA right here. Let's look at it on the weekly time frame. 21 EMA is starting to catch up to this area. Look what happened here. We went back to the 21 EMA, right? If this trend is intact, right? Say we have our number 1, our 2, say that was our 3, right? This fourth wave here could be a long one, right? But this is our fourth wave before it takes us to the fifth wave up, right? And that fifth wave, depending on how crazy the BTC, ETH, SOL kind of, you could call it the holy trinity of the markets for crypto right now or whatever. Let's see how those play out in that time. Let's see if DeFi is lagging Solana exactly, right? And this name, what I like about it is it's giving you, a higher return. So say SOL goes up 300%, this thing's going to go up, 500-600%, right? So there's definitely a play here. What we need to also pay attention to is the earnings. If it's true that all these numbers they're posting are happening, this is just simply an undervalued stock and the market's just not aware of it. So that's a great opportunity for us to, take advantage and capitalize on that. Again, let's look at the 50-day just in case here to see what's going on. To me, that's a little too far out right now. I think the 21 and the 8 are pretty good to look at. But, these are my views here on DeFi, right? We have this low. We have this strong number 1 move. We consolidate sideways, right? We create a nice move for a number 3 move. Number 4 is probably bound to happen around this area, right? Depending how long it takes, right? We could see something like this before we get a move. So that's my overall thesis here on DeFi technologies. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to the YouTube. I'm about to hit 1,000 subscribers. So it's cool to see, we're gathering around a community here, and I'd be more than glad to keep you guys updated and post more often. So that's the breakdown here, guys. Peace.